Yo, what's up everybody? Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a good start to the weekend. The snowstorm that hit last night didn't dump very much. They were forecasting 5 to 10 inches and we got maybe 1 inch, so wasn't quite the rager that I was hoping for. And ended up just kind of chilling out last night. I started watching that new program on Netflix, that Aaron Hernandez story, the tight end from the Patriots who ended up being multiple murderer and stuff like that. It's pretty fascinating. So ended up watching that all night and then just kind of hung out and didn't really feel like filming. So today what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you the vestibule back there, which is all set up, and how that kind of changes how you can operate in this tent. Excuse me, especially in the wintertime. You know, if you've got the weather coming down real bad, that extra room back there comes in real handy. And so I'll give you a quick walkthrough of you know, the vestibule itself and the kind of like how much room it adds. And then I want to shift gears and I want to talk about some of the challenges that people experience living like a nomad, because I've met a bunch of other people that live this way, and we all have kind of the same to varying degrees, but we all kind of echo the same sentiments about, you know, society and the programming of the corporate world and all that stuff. And so I'd like to talk to everybody about that once I'm done giving this little tour. So let's check this out first, and then we'll dive into that once we're done looking at the vestibule and kind of how I've got the whole tent set up and all that stuff. So let's check it out. Alright, so I'm going to walk towards you and show you how big this is. This is all the way towards the entrance right here, so that's how much space we've got we're working with. One thing that I really like too about the vestibule setup is there's windows on either side that are massive, and so you just zip them open and you've got great cross airflow here. So this is great for cooking out here. Also, if you have like a lugaloo or portable toilet, it's great to put that out there. That way you can section off the main portion of the tent, which the camera's inside the main portion of the tent right now. You can section that off, use the restroom out here, air it out, and then come back into the tent. That's very useful if you've got, you know, more than one person that you're camping with. And then another thing too is that, heck, this makes another room. I mean, even though it's a dirt floor in here, the flaps on the outside that hold this down that make sure the air seepage doesn't come in underneath it makes it to where it's pretty comfortable in here. So if I were to keep the door open at night, going into the main portion of the tent where the wood stove is over there, the heat just comes right in here and heats it all up. So you could easily sleep 2 additional people in here, like one here, and have plenty of room on both sides to spare, and even some room in the middle. So that's a couple of really nice features about this. Another thing too is that you don't use as much wood in the main portion of the tent here when you've got this set up, and then you've got this sectioned off like the main portion of the tent at night when you're running the stove for evening time sleep. You don't run through as much wood because this kind of insulates the entrance into the tent, and there is a little bit of seepage of air in like the zipper for the tent door. And so when you have this up there, the seepage doesn't come in. And although there's 2 vents, there's a vent here and a vent here to let in fresh air, the vents are covered, and so if you've got warm air in here, the warm air will kind of buffer that to where the cold air doesn't come in. The zippers for the doors go all the way to the ground. It's on both sides here, so this whole back door can come up, and then you've got these toggles right here, these little clips, to where you can take the entire door and then roll it up and just basically have like a garage door opening like that. You can do the same on this side and leave this down. So if you want to have a door opening to the side, you can do it over here, or you can do it over here. So as far as functionality is concerned, I mean, this is great. I store all my firewood out here. A lot of times I'll grab my axe, which it's another thing I've got stored out here is I've got all my tools. So I'll grab like my axe, and if I need to chop some firewood, I can just come back in here, throw this down. You know, it can be raining like or snowing like crazy out, and I'm in here processing my firewood, and getting things ready for the stove, which is great. And so, you know, if you're going to invest in a tent like this, the reason why I got the Vestibule, honestly, initially was because I thought it looked cool. But now that I have it, I think that it's one of the most useful things with this tent, especially if you're going to be set up in an area for more than just a day or two, because you can do so much out of this, and it's like a garage going into your winter shelter, because it gets real dirty in there and then inside the tent pretty easy. And so to have an area like this to where you can stage items, to where you can keep dirty boots outside, you don't have to worry about them freezing at night. You can also keep like your ash bucket out here. Last night during the middle of the night, I went through and I ashed the stove because it was kind of gunked up in there. And so I took all this ash and put it inside the little metal bucket here, and then open up one of the windows so that there'd be an airflow through here, and I just let these coals kind of like just burn out in here while the main portion of the tent was sectioned off. So that way, like in the middle of the night, I didn't have to take those coals and go out into the fire pit and dump them in the middle of the night during a snowstorm, which was real nice. Let's see, what else? Another thing too is that this increases the amount of passive solar that you have for your tent. So if you're set up in an area with sun, you'll get passive solar in the main portion of the tent here, and you'll get passive solar here. So what that does is it acts like a heater and just heats up everything for your tent. And since you have more passive solar area, your tent's going to heat up faster, which is great. So let's see. Why don't we go to the outside and I'll show you kind of how this. Or actually, why don't I come in here? I'm just gonna flip the camera around real quick. I'll show you how this connects. Okay, so this connects to the outer tent frame. This A-frame or ace to A-frame pole that is in the front of the entrance here. All you do is you have these clips that clip onto it, like there, and here, and then back up in there. And so it's really easy to set this up because all you do is you set up the main tent, and you can still have the main line coming down here to the ground that you would have in front of the tent. Then you just clip this on, set this all up, and remove that other line, and you're good to go. There are, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 6 places for stakes, but I didn't use that. And that's just for around like this area down over in here. There's a place to stake down over there. There's a place right there where one of the poles comes down, and same with over there, and then back over in that section. That's actually not a stake. I'm sorry, that's a bungee line that's built in. So there's only 4 places to stake down. And then up front here, it's kind of interesting how they did this, how Cabela set this up. We'll go outside and I'll show this to you, but it's basically a clip system to where you open up the doors, and I don't think they're frozen in yet. That's the only drawback to this is like those clips can freeze in when the snow comes up over the flaps that keeps the air from coming into the vestibule area. The snow can harden up during the day or harden up at night after a warm day and freeze solid, which that kind of sucks. But let's go outside and I'll show you some of the features of the vestibule outside. Okay, so as you can see, vestibule, let's start out with the vents. These are the vents that I was talking about that let in some of the air, which is great to have. Here's the exterior pole that I was referencing that had a place that you would stake down underneath the snow there. And just to show you, like, these are the flaps that are with this tent. And so, like, if I move that away, well, here's some of the Velcro. So let's go into this first, the little clips I was talking about. So the way that Cabela set this up, here it is. Okay, so you've got 2 clips here, and if we undo them, like this on either way, probably won't push back the thing here, but if we undo them here, so you can go ahead and pull this up, and then create a side entrance into the vestibule here. So you can do it like that. I don't want to pull it all up because there's all that snow that's already holding it down. You can do it on both sides, or you can take this entire portion here and roll it back up, just and then just put it up there, and then you got like a huge garage door entrance to it, which is real nice. As far as square footage is concerned, they say this adds about 80 square feet to the tent, but it seems to me like it's more than that, because it feels like, well, I don't know, I guess about 80 is right, but it feels more than that. And maybe the reason why it feels more than that is because I live in such a small space in my truck in the summertime. But it just seems like it almost doubled the size of the tent, even though I know it's not. I mean, if you just eyeball it right there, the vestibule is like half the size of the tent. So But you know, it works out great. And like I said, if you're going to be out here for more than a day or two, set up the vestibule and you'll have like this massive, you know, area to chill. And then if the weather starts being rotten, it's no big deal. You can go work in your vestibule, make sure all your firewood's good, do any other camp chores that you need to do, and you won't be exposed to the elements. And then when you're ready to chill and hang out and watch something on your, you know, on your computer, like a movie, or just kick back and read a book and hang out by the stove and cook some food, then you can hang out over in your main tent portion. So I mean, I really recommend the vestibule. If you're gonna get a tent like this, get the vestibule, because it's worth it. It's like I said, it's kind of like a garage attached to your winter shelter, which I think it's just invaluable, especially in bad weather. So if you have any questions, hit me up in the comment section below. So now let's shift gears. I want to talk about being a nomad and some of the challenges that go along with this lifestyle, because it seems to me that more and more people I run into that live this way, they all kind of echo the same comments. So let's hop back in the tent and let's talk about that.